People these days don't carry cash anymore. It's always credit or debit, Apple Pay, maybe Alipay, and a bunch more apps and virtual cards. A wallet is basically just a deck of cards now, if you even bother carrying one at all. I remember going to one of the most rural parts of China, and when I pulled out an actual paper note, the local children literally laughed at me. But it's convenient, isn't it? Faster, lighter. Maybe you could say it's even more secure. But what if I told you this is the exact reason you're suffering financially? Having no cash. That's one of dozens of superstitions built around money, and the strangest, most detailed one belongs to a god that you've probably never even heard of. That's Cai Shen Ye, the Chinese god of wealth. So let's start with his backstory. It starts somewhere you wouldn't really expect, a plague. The most widely told version of Cai Shen Ye identifies him as Zhao Gongming, a general from the late Shang dynasty. In the 16th century novel Feng Shen Yan Yi, the investiture of the gods, Zhao fought using dark magic to defend the crumbling Shang court, and he was eventually killed by a rival wielding a cursed effigy and a peach wood arrow. But here's the twist most people don't actually know about. Cai Shen might not even be one god. Some versions have him as Bi Gan, a loyal minister famous for his incorruptibility, while others credit Guan Yu, the legendary general from Romance of the Three Kingdoms, worshipped by businessmen for his honesty. Others still point to Fan Li, a merchant sage who reportedly gave away three separate fortunes in his lifetime. So those are four completely different men, and they're all from different legends, but they do share that title. God of Money, this name cannot stay uncontested. That moves on to what's happening today. Fast forward to now, and Cai Shen hasn't gone anywhere. On the fifth day of the Lunar New Year, it's called Po Wu, literally breaking five, and it's considered his birthday. It's also the day the early taboos of New Year officially lift and businesses that close for the holiday finally reopen. So, what are you supposed to do? You're meant to deep clean your home and business before New Year's Eve, then set up an altar with Cai Shen's image or statue, along with fresh fruit, incense, candles, and food offerings. Then, in the early hours, traditionally around 3 a.m., you fling open every door and window, turning on every light so wealth can enter from every direction. Firecrackers go off outside, both to scare away lingering bad luck and to literally get Taishan's attention. Bow three times, sometimes nine for extra respect, while speaking your intentions out loud. Some households even say a specific line to welcome him and to invite Cai Shen Ye to bless their home. Businesses reopened that same day with dancing dragon performances outside their doors, believing it improves the year's prosperity. And on a personal level, people avoid leaving their house too much on that day, just in case Cai Shen happens to visit while they're out. And you've probably heard the phrase Gong Xi Fa Cai before, even if you're not Chinese. Most people think it just means Happy New Year, but it doesn't. It's a direct prayer for wealth, aimed straight at Cai Shen Ye, which brings us back to your empty wallet. One of the oldest money superstitions says money attracts money. If your wallet, purse, or account ever sits completely empty, you're not just broke, you're actively repelling wealth from coming back. The logic is not financial, but it's symbolic. An empty container signals absence, and absence invites more absence. There's a second belief just as widespread, from Chinese feng shui, to never place your purse or wallet on the floor. The saying goes, a purse on the floor is money out the door. Treating your wallet carelessly, according to that belief, is treating your own wealth carelessly, and wealth mirrors back the respect or disrespect you show it. Now think about what going fully cashless actually does to this equation. Your wallet, the traditional wealth vessel running through nearly every one of these beliefs, is either gone completely, replaced by that dull phone screen, or permanently empty by design, holding nothing but plastic cards and a Face ID login. By the old logic, that's not natural. That's probably the worst possible condition your finances could be in without you ever once touching a coin or noticing anything was wrong. So here's what to do instead. You don't have to give up contactless to fix this. In fact, this is modern day and we have to adapt to new technology. But you just need a stand in. So, what you do, if you believe in superstition, just keep one physical coin or small note tucked into a bag, a drawer, or an old wallet you don't actually use for spending. The point isn't to use it, it isn't circulation, but its presence. Some people keep a wallet purely as a symbolic wealth container, completely separate from their actual spending, which happen entirely on your phone. But if you don't carry a bag or wallet at all anymore, a small charm token or even a single coin tucked into the back of your phone case works the same way in modern feng shui commentary. It's treated as a placeholder for the ritual, not a replacement. The object matters less than the principle behind it. Something, however small, has to be there to represent that your finances aren't invited to be set at zero. So the belief was never really about the cash itself. It was about never letting the vessel, and whatever the vessel happens to be in your life, sit visibly symbolically empty. I would say nearly every culture has built their own version of him. So in Japan, it's Ebisu, one of the seven lucky gods, the only one of purely Japanese origin, usually shown holding a fishing rod and a red sea bream, worshipped by merchants and tradespeople chasing honest prosperity, and honored every year at the Ebisuko festival. In Rome, it was Fortuna, goddess of luck and fate, depicted holding a cornucopia overflowing with abundance, invoked by anyone hoping fortune would tip, quite literally, in their favor. In India, wealth superstition takes a different shape entirely. Rather than a welcoming ritual, it's a restriction. Counting money after dark is considered bad luck, tied to the belief that the goddess Lakshmi rests at night and shouldn't be disturbed by anything as mundane as arithmetic. These are just a handful of money gods all over the world. There are different gods, different rituals, for across different centuries, across different continents, zero contact with each other. And yet, the same underlying fear keeps resurfacing that wealth, once it arrives, can just as easily slip away if you don't treat it with their most minimal form of respect. And maybe that's the real superstition running through all of this. Not the coin, not the wallet, just never getting too comfortable with what you have.